Hello, Will here, and today we are in Gran Turismo with Race C, and as you see we are in Super Formula, the Honda. Fortunately it was only specifically the Honda, so I had to go out and buy it. Again, usual, no qualifying, so I'm starting pretty much from the back, and yeah, as the title suggests, penalties for everyone. Quite literally. But we'll see what happens. So we've got 15 laps. Strategy for this, well, it depends on what you want to do, but it's not really too difficult. You have to use at least the medium and the hard at least both once. No refueling was required. It was just a one tyre change, that was it. Pretty simple. So obviously, standing start, not the best for starting. It's a bit, yeah. Fortunately, I do slightly tap one guy, fortunately, there. But he does actually get back ahead of me. Yeah, 13th. So he does actually stay ahead of me at least. And probably was my best overtake ever. Go from about, what, 13th, 14th? And end up getting into 6th. Because so many people just went wrong on that corner. And then obviously things are a bit, you know, things still come together. Unfortunately I did hit wet curve a little bit there, but then he was getting battered around by people. There was more contact between a whole bunch of birds. It was all very messy. And, you know, it was like, no. But when, you know, races like this, you know, the French guy there was to my right. And then right before the braking point, he swerves back to the left. Why? That was a bit of a silly decision on it. And then you can see 3 people in front of me, all of them penalties. And unfortunately here, my internet dies here. And I think it stays pretty much dead for the rest of the bloody race. So some of these incidents, unfortunately I think I just slightly tapped one driver and he went just a little bit wide. So 1 second penalty there, fair enough. But yeah, my internet suddenly died, and I didn't realise it straight away. And it's just like, now some of the things that happen in this, is that because of either my bad driving, other people's bad driving, or because my internet's gone bad? I don't know. So I get a little tap there, I get pushed a little wide, but that's fine, I can recover from that. And unfortunately, the German there gets a little tap from on the back of his car, which then causes him to slightly sort of like twitch his car, because unfortunately wheels always he probably would have spun out. But unfortunately I get hit, and again obviously I get spun out, and I fall pretty much back down to 19th. You know, obviously at the time I thought, what was that guy doing? But going back for the replay and looking at it again, I do believe he didn't, you know, it wasn't because he was driving bad or whatever that. If it was, he got a little bit of contact from the driver behind him, and obviously threw his car off balance a little bit when it unfortunately hit me. And since I was near the grass, I got caught on the grass and just spun out. So unfortunately it was a racing incident caused by someone else. And it's like, well, I'm now back down in 20th because the wet curve guy had a bit of a faster exit. But I managed to get back up into 19th. Whoopie doo. But so, you know, I've already tried at this point this race twice, and the first time was just horrendous. I wasn't in it for very long. It was just absolutely terrible. The second time I got near the end, but then I got spun out, and at that point I was just like, you know what? If I got spun out because of an actual incident, and I would have just carried on with the race anyway. But I got spun out by someone being a complete nut twat. I think his name was like Ganji B or something, I believe. I'm pretty sure he was a German driver as well, but I think his name was like Ganji 88 or something along those lines. He was just basically being an out twat. And I thought, you know what, screw it, I just come off from another shitty race. I can't bother with this shit. I'm just gonna leave and then take 15 minutes and then come back. get myself a half-second penalty because unfortunately I went a bit wide on that one corner. So it's like, alright, there's a penalty. Fair enough. I get a little bump from wet curve there, and he ends up getting himself a penalty. You know, there was a lot of like little bits of contact like that between people. Some of it from me getting in contact with other people. Some of it obviously people contacting other people. You know, so it's like, you know, this race, the 3 races that I had, you know, they're all kind of an embarrassment to racing. I know this is obviously just video game racing sort of thing, you know, it's just a game. But even in the concept of just racing online with other people, in those kind of races, all the races I was taking part in were all an embarrassment to online competitive racing. You know, it's just like, it was so messy. And I've been trying to get my SR back up. I got it back up into A. I do this race once, and it gets sunk down into B, and it's like, ah. So now I'm trying to get it back up again. So I'm gonna try race A or race B, probably race A. Be honest, and try and just grind a little bit to get that up. I might do it as an actual like stream kind of thing, because I am looking to doing that. It might be like broadcast. I might be using the broadcast on the PS4 to do it, but then I might be able to stream it through YouTube at the same time. So I might do that just like one night at some point. Yeah, just have a bit of a laugh, have a bit of fun. But yeah, I'm not talking about the race too much because the first stint, which I'm on the hard tire at the moment, the first stint wasn't great. But the second stint, when things start actually getting a bit better. So yeah, so I might be trying to do like a PS4 broadcast, which I might be able to stream through YouTube at the same time. So I might do that later on in the week, you know, and just do some daily races. I might do race C again, I don't know, it depends. But it will be a little bit of grinding to try and get my SR back up. DR, I'm not too worried about, but I do want to try and get my SR up again, because being in the lower rated lobbies with like B rated drivers and A rated drivers and C rated drivers, it's getting a bit tiring. I know on some aspects of it, sometimes I'm the one who makes the mistake, which in the case of that, it's like, fair enough, I made a mistake. But I came back into this game with an SR rating of S, and it's like literally after like 2 weeks it's gone down again because everybody else is whacking people off and silly stuff like shit like that, basically. So it's a bit of a pain. But anyway, enough of that little tiny rant. So you can see we're still pretty low down the field, 18th. Not great. But I suppose at the same time, because I know what the result is in the end, shows that if like what happened to me, if you get spun out like near the beginning of the race, especially if it's a long race like this, or like a 15 lap race, 20 lap race, or whatever it is, if you get spun out in like the first few laps, I know sometimes it's tempting for people to just to quit the race and like, you know what, screw it, fuck it, I'm gonna quit. But I hope this video shows that maybe it's not always the best thing to do, because yeah, my result at the end of this is not amazing. It's not an amazing result, but I think I made quite actually an alright recovery, a respectable recovery. You know, yeah, you know, it wasn't like I was like basically pretty much still dead last at one point, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm on the podium. But I reckon I make a respectable recovery in the end. So yeah, my lap times weren't great. I just kept on braking too early at certain points, mainly on the what is technically you could say is the third corner, but it's the corner at the top of the hill after the first sort of like long straight. It's all that's sort of where I kept braking. Sometimes for some reason I would just brake too early, Even though I know basically where the braking point is for that corner, I would just brake too early for some reason sometimes. I don't know, it's just involuntary. Brake early! Why am I braking early? No idea. I'm just gonna do it anyway. So, you know, I was making like little mistakes like that. Sometimes, sometimes I was just, unfortunately, I'm a little bit wide in some of the corners. There were some times when I was catching up with people, but mainly in like the sort of like in the middle of the track where you sort of like after. So like in, I don't know what you would actually call that section, but it's basically like sector 2, I suppose you could call it. Sort of like sector 2 going into sector 3. I would actually normally start catching up with people a little bit there, because I was able to get around that a little bit faster than some of the other people. But the problem is, at the same time, that's when I was mainly catching up with people. But they were going slower, so then I would have to, then I would slow down just so I didn't hit them off or anything like that. And then I would have to either slightly brake and then accelerate again, or ease off the accelerator and then accelerate again. But obviously doing that kind of like unbalances the car in the way that it's turning. So then, you know, I'll be going into nice and tight into the corner like what I just did there. But then sometimes I'll be behind someone, just about to hit the back of them, and I'm like, you know, I don't want to actually hit them. So I would just slightly slow down, get a little bit, turn a bit of a gap, and then accelerate again. But then my car would go out a bit further than I was wanting it to, because of how acceleration works. So that was a little bit of a nuisance, but you know, not much I could do. So as you can see, here I'm doing my pit, getting out of the hard tyres and going onto the mediums, because again you had to use both the mediums and the hards at least once. So, you know, coming out in 14th, so I managed to gain a few positions at the moment. No, nothing crazy, but you know, and then unfortunately here I just make a little misjudgment there, but I sort of slow down, hold back, and allow him to at least get ahead of me, because unfortunately someone did overtake us both, but you know, at least he gets ahead of me. But then the only problem is then, I think this guy gets himself a penalty, because he hits the Sap in the 13th, I almost get hit by him at the same time, and then he gets himself a 2-second penalty. So I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, on the corner on top of the hill, unfortunately I just made a slight little misjudgment. I thought, well, I'm not going to go and try and stay ahead, I'll let him at least re-overtake me. But then yeah, again, he gets himself a 2-second penalty, so okay, fair enough, I'll take 13th then. I'll have that position, thank you very much. So, you know, slowly climbing back up the field. My lap times still aren't great. I think my fastest in the end was like a 1:16.5 or something like that, I think, in the end. And I think I could do better. I think I could at least get to like maybe a low 1:16, maybe a high 1:15. No, because I'm not the fastest driver. But again, I think it was just, there was just times I was just braking too early at certain points for some reason. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna brake now, but it's like, then halfway through braking, I'm like, no, I broke too early there. Even though I know where to brake, it's kind of annoying. I don't know if anyone else does that or not, but it's annoying when it happens, because it's like, why am I doing that? I know not to brake there. And it's just, yeah. But you know, now up in 12th, because I think someone went off. And so again, slowly climbing, slowly getting up there. And then there I get 1:17, so a little bit faster than previous times. But again, I think I do get a little bit faster than that. I do get into 1:16 on one of the laps. What lap it is, can't remember. So I'm gonna be like sort of like no man's land for a little bit now, just by myself. So lonely here in no man's land. But yeah, so what do I think of the actual race? I mean, I like the car, and I like the track, and I like the combination, but again, it's just the beginning. The beginning part is it's so messy. Not just in my race and the other races I've had. It would be for loads of people who are doing this race. The beginning part is just can be just so messy, and it's just ridiculous how messy it can be. And it's just like, ugh. That's why I was kind of like glad not. See, it's times like it's in races like this is where I'm happy to not actually be like near the front or like in the middle, and rather be at the back, because then you kind of like avoid most of the main calamity, which is turn 1. And you know, you might get like stuck behind a couple of people, but you avoid the main calamity, which is turn 1. So yeah, there I got a 116.7. So, but I definitely know I could do a little bit faster than that. I could probably definitely knock that down by like half a second, if I actually really could be bothered and actually put, you know, just actually put my mind to it a little bit more. Well, but I think at this point I was just like, I just want to get a race done. I want to get it in a video. I just, you know, la this, la that. And it's just like, you know what, screw it. This one, you know, I'm just gonna get it done, get it out of the way, and that's that. You know, and to give some thoughts on the actual racing. Again, racing, this, I know it's a slightly lower rated lobby, so I know people are going to be probably not as smooth. And yeah, myself, I'm not the smoothest all the time. Sometimes, you know, I'll have like a good day, and sometimes I'll have a bad day, and sometimes I'll have a good race, and sometimes I'll have a bad race. And it's the same for everybody. But you know, it's just like, I want to get this done. I'll see what I can get out from it, and we'll just see how things go. Lucky enough, at the end of this, my SR did go up. I mean, I was knocked down to B, and I'm still fortunately in B. I don't like being in B. I want to get out of B. I want to get back up to S again, which I know I can do. I just need some actual good smooth races, and not have people be assholes. Not that anyone was too much of an asshole in this race. It was just mainly, just fortunately, it's just the nature of the races that, you know, the first couple of laps, you're all going to be kind of bunched up and close together kind of thing, you know. But it's like, it's frustrating a little bit sometimes, seeing it's like, I just, yeah, how this guy did not lose control of the car at that point, I do not know. So lucky enough he saved it. Obviously been able to catch up with him. So, you know, I'm thinking like, alright, I'm going to try and catch up with him. Now this is one thing I never do with this car. In all the times when it's been on use on online race, I did use it here, but then he's saying he went to the right. I was like, okay, well I'm going to stop using it. I'm not going to go behind him because of reasons. But I never really utilised the overtake. I don't know why, but I never really utilise it or use it, or very rarely ever use it. But you know, I thought I'd try use it there, but then obviously he went to the right, and obviously it would have lost the extra power that I would have got from the overtake directly. So I was like, alright, well I'll have the inside. I could have moved back to the right again, but he may stayed on the right, which then there'd be no point of us being on the right hand side to try and take the inside line. It'd be kind of pointless. So I thought, alright, I'll go back. I'll stick to the left. Yeah, I had a bit of a wide corner there. Bit, yeah. So obviously I'm losing time, but I am going to slowly start catching back up here a little bit more. You know, because he goes a bit wide there for some reason. Goes a little bit too wide, gives himself a half-second penalty. It's not going to make a difference to me at the moment, because obviously he's not going to serve it right now. Okay, alright, I'm going to catch up, slowly catching up, and then he's like, hey, off to the right. And this is another thing I've seen some people do in like previous races and stuff like that. Is why would you pit basically on the last lap? I don't get why you would do. I don't get why you would do that. Then someone gets reset there. I get into 9th. But yeah, so I don't know why people would pit like that. Pit on the lap, like basically the penultimate lap, and then come out on the last lap with fresh tyres. There's no point. It's a pointless thing to do. basically. So if you're a beginner and when you're watching this, never do that, because it's pointless and it's stupid. So my internet finally comes back to life, like right at the end of the goddamn race. Is that typical? But you know, I managed to get into ninth. So you know, I spent the whole first stint of this race basically pretty much at the back. You know, but I have managed to come back up to ninth. So it's like, you know, that helps. Not actually too bad so far. But then the French guy from the beginning, I think his name Mr. Jules or something like that. Anyway, I don't know how you pronounce it. He didn't do the tyre strategy properly, so he gets himself a 1 minute penalty, and I climb up into 8th. So it's like, well, hey, but that's a nice touch that I'd like that they've done, that they've increased the penalty for if you don't do the tyre regulations. Because originally it was just 20 seconds, but now it's like 4 minutes, so you get a full-on punishment for it. But as you can see, penalties for everybody, but that's only 14 of us. So I'm like, I'll have a look at this for a second to see. Have a look at the stats, see what time people were finishing behind everybody else, sort of thing. La la la. The Turkish guy just ran away with it, 20 seconds ahead of second. And I go down. Oh look, it's literally penalties for everybody, even the person who didn't finish. Even they got a penalty. So in the end, I finished in 8th. So actually, not too bad. In the end. But a bit of rough race that was. But that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Please remember to like and subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you all later.